Hi, my name is Jim Adamski with Tap My Trees, and today we are going to be talking about the 2020-2021 Do It Best End Cap. So the first item on the end cap that we're going to talk about is the 7/16 hookless tree tap. This particular tap is made out of cast aluminum. It can be used with our bag holder, which is also on our end cap display, and it can also be used with certain pails. This particular SKU is a staple to the maple industry. The design and the use of this tap have been around for many years in the industry. And like I say, it's a very good SKU to have, very versatile, works well for a lot of hobby producers. The next one we're going to talk about is our stainless steel bucket tap with hook. This is a stainless steel tap, rolled stainless steel. The tap comes with a hook that can be used with the metal buckets that are on our end cap. The customer can also purchase this tap and use their own bucket. The tap is equipped with a hole through the center of the tap, which our metal lid, the pin from our metal lid attaches through that hole. And when the tap is in use, we lift the lid up, remove the pail, pour out the sap, hang the pail back on the hook, and then we put the lid back down. So it is a pretty versatile tap. This tap can also be used with the bag holders that are on our display. So it can be used with the buckets or with the bag holders. The 5/16 health tee. This is a part that will be used with our 100-foot roll of tubing, which is on our end cap. And it can be also used with our 5-tap beginner's tubing kit if a customer wants to add some more taps to their original kit. This is used to connect two lines together and have a line from the tap come down into the 5/16 line for the tubing system. The blue sap bags are used in conjunction with the bag holder. These bags are a BPA-free plastic. They are a single-use bag, so the customer will use them for one season on the bag holder. The bags will be discarded. So this is a great consumable product that'll bring customers back to your store on a yearly basis to buy replacement bags for their sap sack holders. The 5/16 clear tubing tap. These are a clear polycarbonate tubing tap. These taps are for use with our tubing system. People can also use these taps to kind of customize and build their own tubing system. They can be used in conjunction with the 100-foot roll of tubing and our 5-tap beginner's kit if somebody wants to add some more taps to that particular kit. The see-through design of this tap is kind of unique. The customers can actually see the sap as it runs out of the trees. This again is a disposable tap. They're meant to be used for a single season and then discarded. Using a new tap like this every year will get the customer, about 17% more sap per tap on a yearly basis by using that new tap. So this is another one of those SKUs that the customer can come into your store on an annual basis and purchase new taps. 5/16 connector with hook. This will be used in conjunction with our 5-tap bag holder kit once again and our 100-foot roll of tubing. This particular part can connect two pieces of tubing together. If you have damage to a piece of tubing, say for example an animal chews a hole through your tubing, you can cut out that damaged section of tubing and you can use this connector to connect the two pieces of tubing back together. Galvanized bucket cover. This is going to be used with our metal bucket that is on our end cap, and this will also be used in conjunction with the stainless steel bucket tap. The pin on the top is the pin that goes through the hole on the stainless steel tap, which allows the bucket cover to pivot on top of the tap, so that when we're taking the bucket off to dump the sap out, we simply flip the bucket cover up, take the pail off, dump the sap out of the pail, hang the pail back on, and put the cover back in the down position. So classic SKU in the maple industry. I've been using these buckets for probably the better share of 60, 70 years. So hydrometer. This is a glass maple syrup hydrometer. It is going to offer the customer two ways to test their sap. It will offer a hot test and a cold test. These are made out of glass. The amateur hobby sugar maker will have a tendency of breaking a few of these throughout their career. They are kind of a delicate instrument. They don't respond well to being dropped. So it is a great stocking SKU that can be sold at the stores on an annual basis. Like I say, it'll measure the syrup and tell the customer when their syrup has reached the proper density so it won't spoil and it can be packaged. So like I say, great SKU for the end cap, kind of a must-have. Stainless steel hydrometer cup will be used in conjunction with the maple syrup hydrometer. A sample of syrup will be taken. This cup will be filled with hot or cold maple syrup, and the hydrometer will be gently lowered into the cup, and the density of the syrup will read on the hydrometer, when it's sitting in the cup, and then the customer will be able to tell if their syrup is cooked to the proper density. On filter bag is used to filter our finished maple syrup. Once we have finished our maple syrup to the proper density, we pour the hot syrup through the Orlon filter cone. And what this does is this removes sugar, sand, or niter, which are created during the evaporation process or the boiling process. So what this will do is that'll filter any of that sediment out of your maple syrup prior to bottling. So it gives us a nice, clear, clean sample of syrup for our bottles. The pre-filter cone will be used in conjunction with the Orlon filter bag. This will keep the real heavy deposits out of the Orlon filter bag, and it will keep them in the pre-filter cone. These are a single-use item as well. So a producer, depending on how much syrup they're making on in a year, will buy several of the pre-filters, use them in conjunction with their filter bag to make their filter bag last longer. So this is another one of those consumable items that will, drive the customers back to the store on an annual basis, to buy the pre-filters for the Orlon filter bag. The Maple Sugaring at Home book is kind of a necessity for a lot of the novice maple syrup producers or the beginners. It gives some really good step-by-step processes from tree identification, timing of the sugaring season, all the way through the boiling process and right up to putting your syrup into the container. So it really is kind of one of those essential books for a beginner to have so that they get started and start going in the right direction. Sap bag holder is a device that holds the blue sap bags, which you saw on a previous slide. The nice thing about the sap sack holder is it has a tight fitting cover. The bag is wrapped around a ring which is inserted inside of this metal housing. The sap sack fits tight over the top of the blue bag, and it keeps a lot of the debris, tree bark and leaves and different things that are blowing around in the spring. It keeps that out of your maple sap. When the season is over with, you remove the ring from the holder, take the plastic bag off the ring, discard the bag. There's very little cleanup, lightweight, easy to store, a real good SKU for the collection process. 1 pound dry pan cleaner. This is a stainless steel cleaner. As we boil maple sap and syrup, we develop what's called sugar, sand, or niter. This niter will accumulate on our stainless steel pans. When this niter accumulates, it gives them a dull brownish finish, and we need to remove that niter buildup from our pans, otherwise we'll pick up that niter flavor in our maple syrup. This particular material will remove that from the stainless steel pans. Your typical household cleaners, dish soap, etc., will not even think about removing that product or that scale from your boiling pans or your boiling kettles. So it really is a good SKU that's going to be purchased on an annual basis to help keep that boiling equipment clean. Liquid defoamer. Liquid defoamer is an additive that we put into our maple sap and syrup. Typically when we boil maple sap and syrup, a lot of times will generate foam, and this foam will want to boil up and cause the sap or syrup to boil out of the pan. When the foam level on the pan starts to increase, simply put a drop of the liquid defoamer or two into the pan, and what that will do is that'll take the foam level down. It'll prevent your pan from burning. This is a really good tool, especially for the beginner, so that they don't burn up their pan or burn up the kettle that they're boiling their product in. All state pint syrup containers. We had a lot of requests from hobbyists when they go to the store. They want to buy a container to put their finished syrup in, to either give to a family member, to give it to a neighbor, to sell it at the local farmers market if they're making a little bit more of it. And this is an opportunity for the customer to have a proper container to put their syrup in with a nutritional label, and double seal container, tamper evident container that can be sold at the local markets and stuff like that. Um, it is also one of those SKUs that these are a single use container, that customers will come back to the store on an annual basis and buy the containers. The aluminum bucket starter kit. This is a nice starter kit. It's got the classic aluminum maple buckets with the metal lids, stainless steel taps. So in the kit will contain the 3 aluminum buckets, the 3 metal lids, 3 stainless steel taps. It'll also contain the maple sugaring at home book, cheesecloth, and a drill bit. Step-by-step instructions of how to use the kit. A very nice way to start out. This is one of those kits that gets purchased, kind of as a stocking stuffer prior to the holidays and stuff like that. So, like I say, very good kit. Been in the industry an awful long time. So, 2-gallon aluminum bucket. This bucket will go along with the metal lid that we saw, in a previous slide, along with that stainless steel tap. So, if someone buys an aluminum bucket starter kit, wants to add a couple more taps in their yard, they can simply buy, a couple more aluminum buckets, a couple more lids to go along with them. Easy to clean. They're a spun aluminum bucket. They got a reinforcing grommet around the hole where the hook, goes through and hangs on the tree. Very durable SKU, if taken care of, will last quite a long time. 5-tap beginner's tubing kit. We started with these kits a number of years ago. We have a lot of people that, of course, watch YouTube videos and different things, and they see tubing getting strung up through the woods, and they're like, hey, we got 6-7 trees in the backyard. Let's run it all into a central collection tank. And this is really what that kit does. It allows you to take those 5 taps and hook everything together and run them down into a central collection tank or a central collection bucket. They do have step-by-step directions on the back side of the container. We also have some supporting videos available on YouTube that show how the beginner's tubing kit goes up and how it gets assembled. Very, very good kit. And like I say, we have some additional tubing fittings in the display as well. So if someone buys a kit and they want to add a few more taps onto the kit, they can buy the individual taps, tees, and connectors to increase the size of their kit. So the next one we're going to talk about is our 5/16 semi-rigid tubing. This will be used in conjunction with the taps, the tees, and the connectors. This can also be used with that beginner's tubing kit if somebody wants to make a little larger kit. Say, for example, they want to tap 10 trees and they want to link everything together and put everything into a single container. They surely can. It is 5/16 semi-rigid food grade tubing. Like I say, we have all the necessary fittings and stuff to go along with this on the display. We have a 4-tap beginner's bag holder kit. And what this kit includes is 5 sap bags, 4 galvanized bag holders, 4 5/16 hookless aluminum taps, a 5/16 tapping bit, 2 yards of cheesecloth, and a maple sugaring at home book. So we have 2 beginners kits. We have the classic aluminum bucket starter kit, and then we have the 4-tap beginner's bag holder kit. Price points are going to be, probably, the beginner's bag holder kit will be about half of what the classic aluminum buckets are. It's just a lower price point starter kit, to allow that person to say, you know what, I'd be willing to spend that $50 or $60 to try this as a hobby in the backyard, as opposed to spending that, $110 on a metal bucket starter kit. So it does give an option for a lower price point to get that kit out there. So that's what we have on the Do It Best end cap.